Hey guys, this is Sean.
And I'm Jace.
With SportOptics, and this is the 2024 Father's Day Buyer's Guide. Here at SportOptics, we are an optics retailer. We carry things, no matter what price point you got, whether it's $100 or $10,000, you're gonna find something that you like here at any price point that you're looking for. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So for my first pick, and these are in no particular order, but we are going to start off with the Burris Veracity PH. This is specifically the 3-15x44, but it comes in a couple different magnifications. And why I think this is such a cool optic is essentially the information that it can give the shooter. The Eliminator has been around for a while. A lot of people are familiar with that. Well, this is kind of like its little brother. And I have an entire video going into more detail on this guy, so please check that out if you haven't already, or if you just want to know more. But essentially what this guy here does, besides just functioning as a really good standalone scope with dialable turrets, is as long as you have a known distance from using a rangefinder, range-finding binoculars, whatever it may be, as you dial this turret, it actually will show you inside the scope in your field of view the distance that your point of aim is going to be impacting at. So for the guy that's looking to shave off a few seconds in a hunt where, you know, time is of the utmost importance, this is going to essentially help you do just that. And for what it is, it's coming in a very nice, sleek, relatively light package at a pretty competitive price point. This one specifically is going to come in at $1199.99, and then the other magnifications will vary slightly as well. So this would be a great pick for Dad if he's going out west, maybe taking some longer range shots on some game, or if he's just looking to shave a few seconds off of his hunting experience.
Kicking off my first pick, we have the new Kahles 3.5 to 28x50. Now, this scope boasts a huge increase of field of view. This is a 40% increase in field of view from their 5 to 25 model. And I just got back from a training event with Kahles, and they let us shoot these suckers on some moving targets out to 500 yards. And I gotta tell you, these things are insanely clear and bright. And with that wide field of view, I don't really think there's anything else on the market right now that has as wide of a field of view as this. So who is this for? This is for your guy who's gonna be a long-range target shooter, competition guy, and even the hunter. You know, this is a first focal plane scope, so not typical for hunters. But we do have some hunters who do use first focal plane scopes out west because they're going to be taking great shots at long distances anyway, so they're already going to be at not necessarily maximum power, but a higher magnification, so they'll be able to use the reticle, the subtensions in the reticle to do a holdover shot if they want to. So, you know, in a hunting situation, these Christmas tree style reticles like the Skimmer series, those are going to be really nice because you can spot on the grid itself, the reticle, where your impact was. A little poof of dust, you know, for your bullet miss, and then you shift that point back onto your target, and then you take your second follow-up shot, and hopefully the wind hasn't changed. You know, it's for rapid engagement is what these Christmas tree style reticles are for. So if you're doing any of that kind of stuff, this is going to be the scope for you. Coming in at $42.99, this is some of the best glass you can possibly get in the market. It's Austrian, so you know it's going to be high quality and bright. So Kahles always has you covered with excellent products. This scope has some excellent features. You know, it's going to have your revolution indicator right here. That's going to pop up depending on what revolution you're at. The turrets feel excellent. You can hear those clicks. Super, super solid. I mean, you're certainly getting what you pay for with this scope. There's really not much out there that can beat it. If anything, I doubt it. So, excellent choice. Highly recommended. I'm getting this one for you, Dad.
So for my next pick, y'all know how much I love ARs, so I decided to go with an optic that would be for the dad who's interested in home defense, tricking out his AR to take to the range to make all his buddies say ooh and ah and all that stuff. And this optic is certainly going to do just that. This is the Nightforce ATACR 1-8, and this is easily one of the best options for a AR that you're trying to do a little bit of everything with. It goes all the way down to a true 1 power, up to 8 power, it's a first focal plane, really, really solid reticle in this that you can do any kind of holdovers at whatever reasonable distance you would want. It has capped turrets, which in my personal opinion, I think is perfectly acceptable on an LPVO. Some people prefer exposed turrets and like to dial, but if you really wanted to, you could still take this cap off, and the turret underneath is perfectly suitable for dialing. Out of the box, it's going to come with flip caps for either end, so don't have to worry about that. It's going to be nice and protected. Good knurling over here on the magnification wheel. Well, I say magnification wheel, actually the whole eyepiece is your magnification wheel, so you can just grab that thing and twist it in a hurry if you need to. Brightness settings on here are excellent. It is night vision compatible if you decided you wanted to do passive aiming through nods, if you are using some type of night vision clip-on, something like that. And one of the biggest selling points, besides everything I've already mentioned, is just how absolutely bomb-proof this thing is. It's meant to be one of the absolute most durable optics on the market, and this thing is gonna treat you well for many years to come. So give it to Dad, and then it'll still be good enough for you to have years down the line. So as far as price goes on this guy, it's going to start at $2,800, and I know that's a bit of an investment, but this thing is well worth it when you consider everything in this package, and it is going to last a very long time.
Since not everyone can afford a Kahles scope, my second pick here is going to be the Meopta MeoSport. This is the 3 to 15 by 50. And Meopta has packed in a ton of features that bring this value of the scope much higher than I think they charge for it. So first of all, you get locking turrets, both windage and elevation. You get illumination, looks like 11 different illumination settings. You have a parallax adjustment as well. So, and you're getting European glass from Meopta, so you're really not going to get a better value and get all-around features that most people are looking for in a hunting scope for this price point. So who is this for? This is for, man, you can do so much with a 3 to 15 power magnification range. I think it's really that sweet spot where you can hunt with it, you can target shoot with it. This one's going to be second focal plane. It's going to have a nice simple hunting reticle for you. So this is designed to be a hunting scope, and that is what I would recommend for it. But being that it's got all these features, you can do a couple of things with it. Locking turrets is really nice just because when you're out in the field, you got your deer rifle or whatever you're hunting with you slung on your back, and you could be walking through some thick brush, bumping into things. These locking turrets are really going to help prevent these things from moving all over the place. So this is an awesome scope with a ton of features coming in at a great price at only $499. You really can't get European glass with all these features in it for that price. So let's go on and see what we got next.
On to our number 3 pick, we're going to kind of stick in the vein of AR optics. So while LPVOs are awesome in their own right and serve a specific purpose, there is really not any substitute for the simplicity and user friendliness of just a red dot. And this specifically is the Aimpoint Duty RDS, one of the newer offerings from Aimpoint. Aimpoint has been around a very long time. They've essentially pioneered the use of red dots in the military and really even in the civilian market. And they've always been known to be at a little bit of a premium price point, unless you found some older models or secondhand models. But anyway, this is kind of their answer to that. You're getting Aimpoint level quality and durability in a very affordable package, and it still maintains a lot of the same stuff that's in their premium line, like their M5 or their T2s. It's going to have the same footprint as their Micro series. It's just going to sit a little higher. It's a proprietary adjustment system, but as long as you have something that'll turn the turrets, you're going to be just fine. And kind of like that Nightforce, this is going to take a beating and keep on ticking for sure. So for that dad that, just like the Nightforce, wants a really solid, tough, good optic on their rifle for range use, home defense, whatever it may be, this is going to be right at home. So again, back to price point, this guy is going to come in at $499 which for Aimpoint is an incredible value.
For my third pick, we're going to go with the Vortex SPARC Solar. So this is a great option for really anybody who's got an AR or a shotgun they want to mount this to. It's going to come with an AR mount and a low mount that you can stick on a shotgun, or really anything with a Picatinny rail where you want a lower mount than you would typically stick on an AR. So what I like about the SPARC Solar is obviously the solar panel that it has built in. So I have used this without a battery in it on an overcast day on the brightest setting, and it has still been fine. So you know those CR2032s, they die with fluctuation temperature changes, and you know sometimes you may just not get around to changing them every year, or you know, don't pretend like you change your battery all the time. You know, we all forget some optics sometimes. So with this one, it's not going to be a problem. When you take it out to the range, you're already going to have power if you're shooting outside, which most people typically do. So another thing that I really like about this is, you know, with red dots, they come with the lens covers, and sometimes they get thrown away and whatnot, and you never use them, and now your glass is exposed to all the elements and whatnot. But what's so great about this is the caps recess into each other, and they stow right there neatly on the side, out of your way when in use. I know a lot of red dots have that big fat dial where you keep the battery inside. This one is nice and sleek, so it's going to take up less of a footprint on your gun and not be as wide as your typical micro footprint red dots. So who is this for? This is for the guy, the dad, who forgets to change his batteries or has a ton of different guns and they all have iron sights on them, and you want to give him a good upgrade and not spend a ton of money on it. So you can buy a bunch of these things and have a lot of really good functionality, and you know, everyone's got a bunch of different guns that they want to put stuff on, but you know, optics are expensive. This one's not, coming in at $279. You can get a bunch of these things, outfit all your guns with them, and you're going to be good, rain or shine, with this solar panel.
For number 4, we have the Zeiss DTI, and this is simply a thermal monocular. Thermal is becoming very prolific in the outdoors world today, which I think is awesome. Thermal is super cool and gives you essentially a superpower. This is actually my personal unit, and I'm a big whitetail hunter. I don't do a lot of predator hunting under thermal, but for when I get to my stand in the wee hours of the morning and I can't see with my naked eye or through my scope or binoculars or anything, but I want to know if something's out there, this guy is absolutely perfect for that. Or even if you are predator hunting under thermal, but you don't want to have to just constantly keep looking through your weapon optic or your clip-on or whatever, just having a simple handheld thermal to do any kind of scanning is pretty cool. Or even just for the concerned citizen who's dealing with, you know, unrest or whatever else it may be, having something that allows you to see if there's a living object in the dark that you can't see with your naked eye is pretty cool. So we've got a simple 4-button design here at the top to control magnification, whether you want to take a picture, cycle through the menu, and then you of course have your objective here at the end. They're going to have a few different options in as far as the objective size, and then to focus, you just rotate the objective lens itself. So this is actually one of the older models. They've moved on to the Gen 2s now, and they have plenty of different SKUs with a few different specs depending on your preference and the price point that you're trying to stay around. They're going to start at around $24.99 and go up from there.
So my fourth pick is the EOTech EXPS3-0. Now this one is for your really cool dad. So if your dad has night vision and he wants an optic that has a ton of low light night vision settings, this is going to be the one for him. The SPARC Solar I think has maybe like 2 night vision settings, but this one has, man, like 10 or 12. It's like a dozen. It's got a lot of night vision settings. So no matter what brightness you're looking for, this one is going to be the one that's going to give you that variability in brightness. Not only that, but look at the size of this window here. So this one is going to be much easier to get your night vision tube behind than, you know, a typical micro red dot would be. So everyone who's into night vision says the EOTech is the king for passive aiming through night vision. Now, this is the model that has a single dot. That's our most popular model. It's got the 68 MOA circle around the dot in the center. And, you know, it's got your night vision settings button right here. So you just press one button and it takes it from regular brightness into night vision settings. And from there, you can increase your night vision brightness settings. And to take it back to regular, you just tap night vision button again, and then you're back to your regular daytime settings. As you can see, it's got the quick detach lever. This is the lower 1/3 co-witness version. So those guys who want it to be a little bit higher than your absolute co-witness, this is the one for you. And this is a holographic weapon sight. It's not a red dot. It's a different classification. A little bit different technology here. Some people have astigmatism with typical red dots, and they go with these holographic optics so they can see the reticle much better than they would see just a standard red dot. So this one's for your cool dad who's already got some real cool gear, and he's looking to, you know, aim passively through his night vision instead of just using just the laser and giving away your position. So an excellent option, coming in at $749, and you are going to have, man, arguably one of the best optics out there that's not necessarily an LPVO.
And for my last but certainly not least pick, we have a optic who doesn't get quite enough love, something that's a little bit overlooked in the optics world at large, and that is none other than the humble rangefinder. Now, this one specifically is the Vortex Razor 4000 GB model, and what makes this model awesome in particular is not only is it a really solid standalone rangefinder, but it also can give you ballistic readouts in your field of view when you laze something. You use the Vortex GeoBallistics app, essentially sync your data from whatever your load is into this guy via Bluetooth. It's a pretty straightforward, simple process. And then hold it up, bam, laze something, and boop, it tells you however many mils or MOA, whatever your preference is, that you're gonna need to dial to hit what you're wanting to hit. And as far as why I think rangefinders are awesome, there's so many reasons to just know the range of something. You know, a lot of people think all they need is, you know, a great scope or a great set of binoculars, which is true. Both of those are super important, super cool. But a simple rangefinder to know a distance so you're able to take an ethical shot, or if you're just on your property and want to know how far away a certain tree or landmark is, or a variety of other reasons, these things are awesome. They work extremely well, and they're light. I mean, look at this. I could stick this in my pocket if I needed to. So for the dad who's doing some hunting where he might need to know some unknown distances of things, or if he just wants to know how far away that rock is on the other side of his yard, this would be an absolutely excellent gift for that. This one specifically comes in at $799, but there are plenty of great options in rangefinders.
So my fifth pick here for Father's Day is the Zeiss Conquest 15x56 binocular. So I grabbed these for my dad, and if your dad is the guy who's going to be looking to do some hunting out west and doesn't want to bring a binocular and a spotting scope and shed some weight, he can make do with just bringing these. We've got a lot of people who go to shooting events at K&M, and instead of a spotting scope, they will bring a 15 power binocular, and we have used these to spot bullet trace out to 1,200 yards easily. So you know you have the excellent Zeiss German glass, which is going to give you excellent clarity. You got a 15 power, which is going to be a nice range to, you know, from hunting out west to just spot and bullet trace to, you know, whatever you're going to want to see a lot of detail in. Get you a nice full-size pair of binoculars, large objective lens, 56 millimeter. Going to bring in a lot of light, give you a nice large exit pupil to complement this 15 power magnification. So if your dad's looking to do any of that stuff, this is definitely the pair of binoculars for him. Coming in at $19.99. These are an excellent value for the money for sure if you're looking to get high power binoculars. So definitely take a look at the Zeiss Conquest line. They make a lot of great stuff, and I'm sure your dad will find something he likes.
Ladies and gentlemen, and especially all you fathers or aspiring fathers out there, thank you so much for joining us today as always, and please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that fun stuff helps us out with the YouTube overlords. And if you liked anything we've talked about today, have any questions about anything or anything else that we offer at Sport Optics, please make sure to DM us, email us, call us. Me and Sean are happy to talk to you at length about any of this stuff. We mess with all of this stuff in our personal lives and at work daily. We love it, and that's what we're here for. So in the meantime, thanks again. Happy Father's Day. God bless.